Hi, it's DJ K Double Mall with Wired Axess Podcast. I'm a part of the Heard That Sports production here at MAGE, Iowa 2023. To my left, we got someone from behind the scenes. The real-time strategies. If you don't know what that is, go ahead and Google it. But what I tell you, they're the ones that don't get seen, but they're the ones that give you everything you want to see. Everything of one of these big events. We have Ryan Dempsey with us, and then we also have Game-Tea Podcast. We have Zar and JP over there. Thank you guys for joining us here on this panel. Ryan, you're all the way from Los Angeles.
That's correct.
You're here in Nebraska. But here's the number one question, and maybe you don't get asked. What is your gamer tag, and how did you get that name? Because you're behind the scenes, so no one even probably knows your gamer tag. What do you got?
My gamer tag is MoonMoonJelly. It came from a conversation at the California Science Center where me and a friend were talking about the Space Shuttle Endeavour and the idea of genetically modifying moon jellies, which are a species of jellyfish, into being able to survive in space and then populating the area around the moon with them, and then they'd be MoonMoonJellies. And so it's just a dumb name from high school that I've stuck with since then. And
you know, the best part is unique, and it's got an awesome story.
And I never have to worry about other people competing for it. It's fantastic.
A name with a story is always a good name for me. This is true. So you have been around to a lot of these events, from PAX to MAGE. What are some of the biggest oversights that can happen when running these events?
Yeah, that is a very good question. I think one of the toughest things we run into is just, people not taking into consideration timelines. Yeah, I would say definitely timelines, making sure that people give you the space to provide the best product right now is one of the biggest difficulties. MAGE was actually fantastic for that. We've been talking about MAGE since February. So that was like perfect amount of time. We put together a killer event here because of it. So, yeah.
Right on.
Right on indeed. All right, Ryan. So it has never been a better time to be a fan of esports, right? We've got so many amazing games, not just here, but all over the place that we're seeing be played competitively. Let me ask you, which esport game is just your absolute favorite to watch and why?
Right now it's got to be League of Legends.
Legend.
I went to Worlds this past year because it was in San Francisco. So a bunch of friends made the road trip up. I was rooting for the Down Kiev, who didn't end up making it, and then Dragon X, who was my runner-up team in my head, makes the miracle run through. And being in that space, in that kind of crazy environment where you have an underdog team in Dragon X playing against T1 with the god of League of Legends, Faker, as their challenger, there's just something different about that. Before that, it was definitely Counter-Strike, which I followed that to the Boston Major in 2018, where Cloud9 won that, and that was the impetus for me to get into esports as a profession, was being in that production space where they did it at Boston University. They actually had a hockey rink like this, and you just have a ton of people in the space rooting for a North American team. Everyone's chanting USA, that kind of nationalism or tie to a region I've never had until Counter-Strike. I'm following my favorite team. I'm here in the opposite part of the country from where I live for a game that I've been playing for 6 years. There's nothing better than that kind of feeling. So those two games definitely for sure are prime sports to me.
On Game-Tea, we make fun of League of Legends quite a bit. So if you listen to us, sorry in advance. I'm not talking about you when I make those comments. Just let that be known. All right, and I'm actually going to hit you with a second question. Now, if you look over to our right, you'll see a ton of amazing gaming PCs, all decked out in RGB lighting. We got the monitors, we got the PCs. We got the keyboards over there too.
Yeah.
Does RGB lighting make you a better esports player?
My answer is no. I quite specifically have all of the RGB in my machine turned off.
Really?
It's like the taste, the RGB strips are unplugged. For me, it's really distracting.
Yeah.
The one thing I really do like it for is if you look out there, you'll see a bunch of the machines are in a static pink color.
Yeah.
And that's because we did it for sponsors. And so RGB lighting, programmable RGB lighting in particular, fantastic.
Yeah.
Like making an event look just like
Fantastic, unified in that kind of way.
Makes you feel like gamers.
if you feel like a different mindset when it's that kind of RGB of like, oh my God, we're in the space. All of the machines are the same color for the team that like we're here.
It's consistency. And you know that person there is playing on the same that I'm playing on. You're not having to worry about, man, is this computer maybe a little under level? Is this one right where it needs to be?
It's a whole different part of the competition. Who could just have the craziest RGB lighting going on?
Hey, if you can distract the competition.
Yeah, there's real strats there.
Yeah, for sure. But I think like the biggest things that PCs you can look at is definitely just making sure that you're happy with the setup that you've got. It doesn't have to be killer, but as long as it's meeting the expectations that you've got for it, and you're happy with like your coloring, then like that's the best for you. I will say the one thing that I do keep on is my keyboard RGB. That's backlit because I have red keys and I have a nice like orange undertone on it. That looks sick as hell.
And it does improve his gaming.
And that's
Good for his eyesight.
yes, it does.
He's colorblind, so it's good for the eyesight.
Yeah.
Red is orange, orange is red.
All right, you told me off the mics that sometimes working these events and working specifically with video games can get a little stressful. And you said that sometimes the further into this industry you get, the less games you play.
Yep.
I have a feeling you've got a time waster game, though. What is your biggest time waster game? It could be Clash of Clans. It could be Candy Crush. I don't care.
It's for sure League of Legends.
It's League of Legends.
How is that a time waster game? Each session takes like 40 minutes.
My friend, you have forgotten about TFT.
Oh, that's right.
TFT is one of those things that like if I'm in the airport
And there's nothing else to do, I'm sitting there playing TFT. Like
you can either play the quick rounds and just like
bang through matches every 10 minutes or so
I'll also play Wild Rift with my girlfriend.
on trips because those games are super quick too.
I think Riot's done just a fantastic job of like finding brain rot games.
For you and making them as easy to play as possible.
For sure.
Brain rot games. I love that term.
Brain rot games. We're gonna have to start using that. That's a great term.
All right, well, we'll get you out of here on this. Once again, we have real-time strategies, the behind-the-scenes of a big event like MAGE and Pac West. Ryan Dempsey. Ryan, you have to tell yourself, when do you decide that you go from being a esports gamer to wanting to run the production behind it? What made that decision for you, and how are you dealing with it knowing that, man, I might be able to beat that guy right there?
So the big moment for me was definitely
Playing Melee in college and, you know, doing fine in our smaller events at the school. And then you go to like a small regional and you play some of the PR players and just get like absolutely creamed. You're getting JV forward every single game. And you're like, there's nothing I can do against this guy. I'm literally ineffectual against someone who knows these matchups better than me. And it will take me like 20 years to get to that point. I just don't have that time. But I really like
creating these experiences for other people. So that's what pushed me to become a tournament organizer and like start running events at my college, eventually doing it more so for the greater scholastic scene. And just like knowing that I'm creating these cool experiences for people who are then going to bring up the scene as a whole and maybe become further down the line. That's really what I was looking for out of this type of job. So,
well, once again, we're here live at MAGE 2023. Thanks to Iowa Western. We couldn't do it without you guys. Once again, we have Game-Tea Podcast, Zar and JP. I'm Wired Axess Podcast, DJ K. We greatly appreciate you.